Hey everybody, I'm Jennifer Angel. This is my overview for the week of October the 12th. And Mercury is coming out of retrograde and there's a lot happening this week. So I'm hoping, it certainly looks in the star chart to be a much brighter week. A lot of more things opening up and a lot of more opportunities coming through. And there's some triggers there to shift things as well. So if you feel like life has been stagnating a little bit, then certainly it can come through this week. And right at the beginning of the week, we have the new moon in the sign of Libra. So this is an ideal time to focus on what you want to attract in your life. And particularly as it's in Libra, then it's all about relationships, okay? And all about being nice to each other and, simple acts of kindness. And it's getting up to that time where, leading up to Thanksgiving now, so it's a great time to sort of shift the focus from yourself to others and to, realize that in life there is a certain amount of compromise. You do one thing and, something else shifts. And of course, you don't want to be the one doing all the compromise all the time, because that can build resentments, but you want it to be somewhat balanced and equal. And that doesn't mean that it's got to be like tit for tat type of thing. I mean, one person will contribute in one area and another person contributes in another area. That's why we always say opposites attract, okay? That's where that opposite attract, because the complementary traits people have to be opposite, just complements the other person. So, keep that in mind for this new moon, excuse me again. And, of course, Venus rules Libra. So, that's where Venus is in charge of relationships and money as well. But, in Libra, it's more about relationships. So this is a favorable time to really cast your dreams out to the universe in a positive way. It's always more powerful to think about what you want rather than focus on what you don't want. And sometimes the end result can be the same, but it's a higher vibration when it goes out on a positive note. Okay, if you've been watching me for a while, you've probably heard me say that many times by now. Excuse me. So we are still under the influence of the interaction between the Sun and Uranus, so anything can happen now. It's very, Uranus is very unpredictable energy. The Sun, of course, is very powerful, so it can be sudden changes that come almost blindside you. And at the same time, Mercury will interact with Saturn, and as Mercury is coming out of retrograde, it's out of retrograde on the 9th, so right through to the start of the week, particularly, we're still in what's called that storm period where the planet turns out of retrograde. Now, traditionally, most astrologers will say that will go on for about a week, but really, in my mind, it's that first 2 or 3 days either side, which are the more crucial, and then it starts to weaken. And then, of course, we've got that period of time when Mercury then transits back to the degree it was at when it first went retrograde. So once again, technically, it's not really out of it until then. I don't have that date right on hand right at the moment, but by memory, it's towards I think around the 25th of October. Don't quote me on that. And have it listed on this particular sheet I'm looking at. But really, and as it's coming out of it, rather than going, I always think that it's a little bit lessened, but still, right over this weekend, if you're watching this video, like over the weekend, then you want to be a little bit careful still with your communications and interactions. Mix-ups, misunderstandings can certainly still happen around this time. But by the time Mercury interacts with Saturn, Mercury will be out of retrograde. So this is going to be early in the week, 12, 13. So this is going to be a perfect time for you to really get your long-term plans and goals in place, because Saturn is really more about the long term and setting down solid foundations, okay? And you can consolidate relationships and situations that have been outstanding now and perhaps been put on hold, and bring them back to make them more solid and work through any issues that you've had. Okay, now Venus will be opposite Neptune. Now this can set up a sense of almost anything is possible and cast a slightly idealistic view on life. Okay, now I don't mind this personally, because I think to be idealistic really allows us to let go of limitations and really cast our thoughts and our mind and our vision and our heartfelt feelings out there to the universe of what it is that what could we do if we had no obstacles, we had no limiting thoughts. So I like the idealistic view of life to begin with, and then of course we start to make the compromises and we come back to reality, because as I said, when you do one thing, then it means that you don't do something else, and you think, well, maybe that's not quite worth it, so you start to make adjustments, and at the end of the adjustments you get to something that's just perfect for you. Okay, so an adjustment and a compromise is not bad. In fact, it's necessary, and it allows you to individualize. To make a compromise allows you to individualize your life. Okay, so first of all, broaden your vision, and then what's happening next is that works perfectly with the Mars conjunct Jupiter in Virgo. The connection between Mars and Jupiter is a once every 2 years event. It's a short transit, but one that is really packed with energy and inspiration. And Jupiter, of course, provides the vision to follow the dream of your soul, and Mars provides the energy, motivation, and the trigger to really push through with action and make it happen. So, that's an amazing connection. I really hope it brings through something fabulous for each and every one of you. And at the same time, Mars and Jupiter will favorably interact with Pluto. Okay, so there's a trine happening there with Pluto. Now, Pluto is the planet of transformation, and it further encourages you to just follow through with what you know in your heart, your destined dream, your destined path toward. And in some cases, some of you will be able to just reinvent yourself, which means like letting go of the old. And letting go of the old could be people, places, situations, or just an attitude or an old value that you've been carrying around that no longer serves you. Okay, and allows you to reinvent yourself. And I love that. It takes courage to reinvent yourself, and the timing needs to be right. So, sometimes it's a thinking time or to work through things. Sometimes we really feel that it's our time. So, if you're not at that point right now that you feel that it's your time to step up and reinvent yourself or transform your life in some way, don't worry. Life is a process. It's a journey of learning, living, and loving, and wherever you are at that journey is just fine. All right, so as you can see, this is a much brighter, lighter week. Just Mercury coming out of retrograde puts a smile on my face. So I hope something fabulous happens for each and every one of you, and love and luck to you. And now I'll go on and do the individual reports. Okay, bye for now.